Hey guys, welcome back to Collective Perspective. Today, it's the big 7-5, Craig.
We finally
75.
made it. That's kind of crazy. We outpaced the Unlockable podcast real fast. Take that, Hannah.
What better way to celebrate than with a beloved console, the PlayStation 2? I'm being
Everybody's favorite.
being kind of sarcastic because I don't have a big love for it, but yes, it is everyone's favorite.
It's there's something about Sony consoles that I feel like their libraries are too big and too vast that it's hard to have like attachments to them because you know, it's like, you have the GameCube and it's like everyone has the same 15 favorite GameCube games, and then the PS2, you ask 100 people and they'd all have different answers for their favorite PS2 game. There's just so much going on with the PS2, but it's perfect for an episode like this.
That goes hand in hand with the top 15 list you guys made a few weeks ago on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, spoiler alert, we had no crossover, so it was a completely just like lackluster tied list of top 15 PS2 games. It was great.
Today we're
Check it
talking
out. I promise it's entertaining.
Today we're going to talk about. So we've done 6 Dreamcast variants in the past. We've done 6 interesting Xbox 360 variants in the past. We like to talk about variants around here, and today we're doing 6 on the PlayStation 2. None of these are just like, oh, there's a greatest hits version of God of War. Now these are going to be interesting and um, objectively interesting. Even I'll say that you're not allowed to think they're not interesting.
True. Otherwise, you're just wrong and boring.
I think I
That's not true. We
will.
love you.
I'll go first this time to
Hell
change
yeah.
it up. We have a licensed title right off the bat, and it's a childhood favorite of Craig's. It's Tom and Jerry War of the Whiskers.
All-time great fighting game.
I think this one's really cool because it got a release on all 3 consoles at the time. It was PS2, Xbox, GameCube. Somehow, just the PS2 version received a variant with a DC comic book inside. It got
That's funny.
its own Tom and Jerry comic book, and I think it is just like based on the game, so it's War of the Whiskers. The comic is advertised on the front, so a lot of games, you'll just get a random comic inside. You had no idea you were getting it, but this one, thank God, it's advertised on the front left top corner of the game. It's a mini comic, so it's not strapped to the back of the case or anything. It is actually inside, about the same size as the manual. And I'm assuming that this comic release either was the first print or maybe it was a retailer exclusive at like Target or something. I'm sure we'll never know, but yeah, there is a version without the comic book.
That's unfortunate. I always prefer when like something says like like Target exclusive or Best Buy exclusive or something like that. Just because it's interesting to know if these things were super widely available or had kind of a narrow or smaller release.
Yeah, absolutely.
But shout out to War of the Whiskers, all time great game. You should all play it. It's really stupid and fun. So
It's basically Power Stone.
basically Power Stone. That was my Power Stone growing up. I had the real Power Stone.
And you had a
I
Dreamcast too.
That's also true, but we didn't have Power Stone. So I match your license title with another license title. Everybody's all-time favorite sci-fi movie where you get isekai into a board game akin to Jumanji, Zathura. Zathura. It's hard to say, but this game had a couple of different variants, so I'm giving you multiple right now. This is a nice treat for you all. So there's the regular old retail release, not very exciting. And then there was an alternate cover that they used at Hollywood Video. So kind of, count it or don't because this wasn't like a retail release, but you could technically buy games for Hollywood Video too. So kind of interesting just how drastically different the cover is on that one. And then there was 2 other notable variants. One is a nice French-Canadian version, which has a slipcover, and who doesn't love themselves a nice, tasty slipcover. And there's also one with a movie ticket. Tons and tons of movies. Movie tie-in games this time got movie tickets to go see the movie. So nothing super spectacular about that. But usually, the movie ticket's missing. It's kind of funny because none of these are very expensive. The movie ticket, you get it with the ticket for $15. The Hollywood Video version, not going to have a lot of value for most people. So the last one sold on March 3rd, $6 free shipping. There's one bidder, so not a lot of competition. If you're out there and you really want to have the Zathura subset on PS2, now's your time to shine.
I don't know anything about this. So it was a movie first, you're saying?
Yeah, I believe it was supposed to be like either. I don't think it's connected to Jumanji. I think it's like a spiritual successor because it's the same kind of thing. You like get sucked in the board game, but it's like all sci-fi instead of it being like a jungle. So
Never heard of it till today.
I remember seeing the trailer as a kid, but I had no interest in seeing the movie. I specifically remember seeing the trailer and thinking it looked stupid. So
I like this Hollywood video box art a lot more.
it makes it look like a really cool sci-fi game, opposed to
Yeah.
the other one kind of just looks like a generic sci-fi poster. So,
Looks like a Star Wars Episode 1 trailer or something, like poster
Yeah.
to me.
it's not very appealing, but the Hollywood video one's pretty fire. So shout out to Columbia Pictures and their all-time great movie, Zathura.
This was a thing, occasionally you would get. We actually just saw someone in my Discord tonight or today. They posted a variant of an Xbox. Was it 360?
I believe so.
It
Yeah.
was a Dead or Alive Extreme. Just like a super like the women are clothed on the cover as opposed to the actual game where they're all in like super.
There are children walking down those aisles in Hollywood video.
It's a Hollywood video variant. A lot of people collect these. A lot of people. I mean, not a lot of people. He just told you it sold for $6.
I was gonna say, back it up, buddy.
But I have seen people go after these. I'm not personally interested in them, but I think they are cool. It's a cool piece of history.
Yeah, they're interesting for sure. It's one of those things where it's like I don't know if I'd ever seek it out, but if I saw it and it was cheap, I'd be like, that's kind of cool. So.
Yeah. Moving along. Dang, I didn't write the price down for Tom and Jerry, but it's pretty cheap and pretty common. Xenosaga Episode 3. Let's get into an expensive game here.
Oh yeah.
You know about this lenticular cover variant?
Yes, because it's really cool.
It is very cool. So, the internet has people arguing about the origins of this thing, but essentially, this game has a lenticular cover that is actually just like a piece of cardstock with, lenticularity on it that is like over the artwork in the game. So, it is a true variant, but it's not a cover variant. It's like they included something extra in there. It's not a very often that we see something like this, but the internet, some of the internet thinks that this game came out at Best Buy exclusively. I saw a guy on Reddit that just screwed all that up, and he's like, no, I got mine at GameStop, and it totally has it, so we'll never know, once again, where this thing came from. We don't have any hard evidence to back up like where you could get this. We don't know if it was an exclusive like pre-order bonus or if just everyone who bought it at Best Buy got this. But it is scarce. There are currently 3 listed on eBay, or 2 I think. One of them is CIB for $230. Oh no, I'm sorry. The game itself without this variant is just like $230 regularly. The last lenticular CIB sold for over $400, or about $400 on auction. It was today. The auction ended actually. And the cheapest buy it right now for this one CIB is $800. I think it's super cool. I think it's a very cool piece. The regular art has a character kind of hidden in the background if you look at it, but the lenticular art brings that person to the foreground whenever you're like changing the angle. So, just a neat little thing.
That's fire.
And what else did I say? There's a water-graded copy, so I can confirm that the lenticular cover came inside the seal. It's not just like Best Buy gave you the game and then this thing separate. It's actually in the seal, which is neat.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's one of my favorite PS2 cover arts. That's been like a heavy one for me for many years, but I'm just not willing to spend that much money on it. But it is really cool. Shout out to PS2 and all of its weird multi-part JRPGs. I don't know why that happened. If I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd have at least 3 nickels, which is very bizarre. But I like that it happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
That and then both the dot hacks. So
I
kind
think
of neat.
about the dot hacks. Yeah.
So, all right. Next for me, got Onimusha Warlords, the first Onimusha game. There is a version that was a Target exclusive and it came with a free hint card. So you would you can it's a prepaid hint card, has a pin number. You have to call the hint line, enter your pin. It's super extra and silly. They couldn't just like put like a slip with a couple of codes in it or something. I don't know, but it's very fascinating. And the weirdest thing about it is that, Onimusha, very common PS2 game. One of this hint card variant sold for $20 a week ago, but all my life I've seen a million copies of Onimusha, and I've never seen a copy with the hint card before in person. So I think this one's more on the uncommon side. So an interesting, cool variant to be on the lookout for that doesn't seem to be too common. So, and there's also one, it looks like, for the second game as well.
Yeah.
So shout out to the friendship between Target and Capcom. They were really hitting it off during the Onimusha days.
There's this guy, Finn Ravens, on YouTube that I found when I was doing the research for this episode. And he's like, he's got like 1,000 subscribers and that's it. And I don't know, if you like variants, you should go subscribe to this guy, specifically for PS2. He knows his stuff, and it's really cool.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
He has the whole set of like 1,800 plus games. Ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. Like that little card included in there is definitely like a piece of history. Not everybody had access to the internet in 2001 when this game came out or whatever, and you had to call the tips line at Capcom. It's pretty neat.
You could even call it right now and see what happens, I guess. Because I believe Christian's going to put photos up of the card on the screen. So if you do, comment and let us know what happens when you call that number. Maybe Capcom forgot to ever turn the line off and it's still there.
Last one, very iconic franchise, Tomb Raider. A very not iconic game, The Angel of Darkness. I'm pretty sure everybody hates this game.
It's famously bad.
However, it got multiple variants, so I'm going to give you guys 2 variants here today. There's a regular cover, which is probably the later print, if I had to guess. But then there's 2 interesting releases. So you've got the movie ticket variant. You got a movie ticket inside the manual, of all places. It wasn't just like slipped in with the case, it was in the manual. Which means, I didn't think about this, you got to make sure you have the right manual when you buy this game, that's interesting. Doesn't matter.
Check out that Manny.
You tear it out like a registration card. But it was a ticket to see Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life, which I guess was out at that same time. Couldn't tell you anything about that movie. You seen it?
No.
And then the other one, I think this one's a little cooler. The pack of Tomb Raider trading cards included. Now, none of us grew up collecting the Tomb Raider TCG. That is a fact. The cards come in a small Tomb Raider envelope inside the case. It's pretty neat. They have the game tips on the cards, so they're not just like TCGs for you to take to elementary and go trade with your friends. It's like these are supposed to help you through the game, It's just a product of its time for sure. There's 5 cards, and out of 5, Laura is on all 5 of them, because who else is in that game?
Yes, gun to your head, name one other character in Tomb Raider besides Lara Croft.
I'm dead. There's 5 with Laura on it, and then she's back to back with some dude on one of the 5 cards. So I don't know who that is. Didn't play the game.
Nobody knows, I promise.
Both variants have an emblem on the front cover that states what came inside, which is neat. And appreciated, of course. I don't know how common these are, but you can get each of them. Like, one of them was $35, one of them was $40. You can get them right now. It's super easy. And I really don't think anybody's going to fight you for them. And they're kind of cool.
They are neat. Shout out to Tomb Raider. You know what? We're talking about these movie ticket variants. And I do think that it's, this is a little bit different, but isn't it strange that so many of these games had movie tickets that you probably wouldn't buy the game for until after you saw the movie already anyway? That's weird, right? Like all these different cartoons and different things, it's like, wow. You're gonna buy the Curious George the movie video game for the free ticket and then go see the movie after? That's just very unlikely. I
That
find
one kind of
hilarious.
makes sense, right? That one was a children's book, but like something like this, no, not like this either. Something like I don't know, The Incredibles, or
Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official movie of game of the movie.
is there a ticket variant?
Yes, for Xbox PS2. So,
All right.
but
Yeah,
not
I know what you
360.
mean though. That's a very good
I don't
point.
know why there isn't one for 360.
It's a very good point.
All right, so my last one I got here, Goosebumps Horrorland. So this is a version that comes in a big box with a Goosebumps book. Let me see if I could even tell, because I don't think it actually comes with Horrorland, which is the funny part. It comes with a different Goosebumps book.
It's kind of like a not a slipcover, but it's not quite a big box. It's like whenever you get two.
Yeah, it's like one of those like big boxes where the sides cut off and you put them in. I don't know what you call that. Just kind of like a big box.
A sleeve,
whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah, either way, comes with a Goosebumps book and the game Goosebumps Horrorland. So there's two listed right now. There's one sealed for 400, one CIB for 325, one sold buy it now for 350 in February. And there's also a version on the Wii. This is actually a variant that I've always wanted for a long time too, whether it be PS2 or Wii, because I grew up reading a lot of Goosebumps books, as many of us did, and I just think that's super neat that there is a game based off of a book series, which isn't something that you see very often, and it was one that I was a fan of. So,
Isn't there a movie?
I mean, there was a TV show too. But there was a movie in more recent years. There was one with Jack Black.
Oh.
And now there's a TV show with David Schwimmer of Friends fame. So,
Not familiar very much with Goosebumps.
no Goosebumps in your
I
life?
thought it was like an 80s film. I'm totally mixing it up with something.
No, Goosebumps is like a children's horror book series.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now I've
My
outed
boy
myself.
R.L. Stein.
I think that's a really cool one. I can't believe how expensive it is. That's pretty wild.
It's really cool. I mean, there's also people that just collect like Goosebumps books too, so this is kind of a neat thing for like both hobbies, right? Games and book collecting.
I don't know how many games came with like books. We talk about comic variants a lot, but a full-on book, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, a lot of comic variants, a lot of DVD variants, a lot of soundtrack variants, but this is the only one that's like, just a book. Like, there's even art book variants, but just a straight-up book. This is the only one I know of, so pretty neat.
Imagine if they just strapped like a PS2 Goblet of Fire to like that giant hardcover Harry Potter
Oh my
book.
god, that'd be awesome. The game's like this and the book's like this.
And that they threw a DVD in there too. Yeah, that'd be great.
Hell yeah. There's Harry Potter ticket variants for movie tickets, so endless amounts of variants out there. We could do 1,000 variant episodes.
Yeah, we could do 1,000 on PS2 alone.
It's true.
I guess I gotta shout out All Caps. This dude's been going ham for years on PS2, and he made a. You can definitely follow him on Instagram, but he has a video game sage thread with all the known PS2 variants. So go check that list out, and also the guy I mentioned earlier. I already forgot his name, but go subscribe to that guy on YouTube.
Put it up on screen in text. There you
Finn
go.
Ravens, I think that was his name. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. We're going to talk about Sega Saturn next episode. So we'll
One
see
of the
you there.
all-time greats. Take care.